super torquey. Oh wow. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing a 2023 Ford F-150 STX with the 2.7 V6. And we're going to find out if this is the best powertrain to get in a Ford F-150. Before we get in this video though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo, Utah for giving me some time with this F-150. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. If you have any questions or need any help, just ask for John Jenks. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. So under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2.7 liter V6 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy 17 around town and then 23 on the highway, with power outputs being 325 horsepower and then 400 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Starting with the hood, you guys can see it's got the F-150's new design where it kind of is raised on either side and then kind of dips down a little bit and then is raised in the center again. Now, popping down below, you guys can see that the headlight has kind of been blacked out, but we do have halogen lights, and then you guys can see our fog light action just down below, also blacked out, which is pretty cool. And then notice the grille has also been blacked out. We got the Ford logo here in the center, and then you guys can see the tow hooks there at the bottom. And putting it all together, for being more of like a base F-150, I think it looks pretty sweet. Coming around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 275/60/20 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see with the wheels, you got the silver there on the top and then metallic gray below that, which I think looks very nice. Now, it's probably hard to tell, but you guys can see our F-150 STX badge here has been blacked out. And then notice how the mirror caps are also darker, as well as the door handles and the trim around the windows. Now, something that I find very interesting is that we have like basically a leaf spring instead of leaf springs here in the rear. And then notice the STX logo here on the side. And then putting it all together with the Super Crew configuration, I think this truck looks good. So here's our key fob. You guys can see we've got our unlock function, our lock function, and we have the little flip out key as well as the Ford logo there on the back. And then popping into the bed, first off, tailgate's not dampened, so make sure that you hold it all the way down. We've got a payload capacity of 1,704 pounds with this truck. And then in terms of bed effects, there's not really a lot happening back here, but we do have a cargo light there at the top. Lifting up the tailgate is actually pretty easy because it's light and doesn't happen to have the Ford bed step system. Now you guys can see we've got the more baseline taillights here in the back, and then we've got like our EcoBoost badge, Ford badge here in the center, parking sensors at the bottom. Now max towing capacity with the 2.7 is about 10,000 pounds. This particular one though is probably be closer to that like 8-ish thousand pound range. And putting it all together, I really do like the look of this truck with the body painted bumpers and with some of the blacked out accent pieces. I think it looks very sporty. Now, taking a look at the rest of the door panel, you guys can see the material used here at the top, and then we actually have some nice padding where you're going to rest your arm. Got our window control here with our cup holder, and then plenty of storage on the door panel. Now, taking a look at the seats, you guys can see this interesting pattern here at the top, and then the cloth trim down below. And we can pick up the seats. We've got a flat loading floor underneath. Legroom here in the back is great. We also have a storage pocket here. We've got some cup holders here in the rear. We also have some vents and some charging port action. And then headroom back here is also great. Now taking a look at the front door panel, once the camera focuses, you guys can see more padding here. We've got all of our window controls. We've got our mirror adjustments, door lock and unlock, and then we do have blind spot monitoring with the mirrors too. And then with the front seat, you guys can see the same pattern there at the top and then down below as well. And then we have our manual adjustment here on the side of the seat. And then pedal layout, pretty normal. Parking brake right here, we've got our light controls in this area as well, and then you can see the steering wheel is manually adjustable. So taking a look at the steering wheel, more basic with the materials on the outside of the steering wheel, which again, this is more of kind of like a work truck. But anyways, we've got some controls for the center stack, phone controls, volume controls, we've got cruise control as well. And then you guys can see turn signal, windshield wiper stalk, and then we do have a column shifter. Notice we've got an M there at the top. It's not really showing through on camera, but trust me, there's an M. And we've got that plus and minus so you can manually shift the gears yourself if you want. Now taking a look at the gauge cluster, it's mostly analog, but we do have a screen there in the center which we can use to see different bits of info on the truck. We've got like an eco coach. And then just like other F-150s, we do have a bunch of different drive modes that we can go through. As you can see, those are kind of like our off-road modes, and on the other side you got like your tow haul mode, your eco mode, and then your sport mode as well. Now in reverse, we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and we also have a zoom function with that camera. As for the rest of the infotainment screen, we've got a shortcut bar here at the bottom, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Response time's great, it's easy to use. There's a camera button here at the top, hazard lights, and then stability control as well. We've got analog rated controls down below, and then you guys can see single zone climate controls. And then right next to that, we've got our drive line select. Notice we've got 2-wheel high, 4-wheel high, 4-wheel low, locker for the rear. And this is where the trailer brake controls normally are, but this one doesn't have it. So it's just like I guess a coin holder. So we've got some more storage in this area with some USB port action. And then you guys can see all the storage here. This one has a regular center console, which happens to be locked right now. And then we've got some storage above the glove box. Notice it says F-150, and then also glove box storage, and then nothing happening right there. Weird. Anyways, we got some more charging port action right there. This has a manual mirror dimmer here at the top, sunglass holder, and then the rear glass is fixed. Now here's our window sticker for this F-150. You guys can see equipment group 102A on this particular one. After all options though, this one stickers for $51,765, and let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off here. Here's your visibility over the hood. Both the mirrors do blind spot monitoring, and throughout the rest of the rear. And, well, STX away! Oh, the brake was on. I was like, why is this not moving forward? Also, the Ford dealership currently has the coolest Mustang I've ever seen in my life. We're about to drive right by it. So it's bright green. It's the new Mustang SV, which stands for super, very, I don't know. But look at that Mustang. All jokes aside, it's a Lamborghini, I know. Let's actually talk about how this STX drives. So first off, with this pickup truck, we're in 2-wheel drive, and it actually has a pretty good turning radius. That's the thing that I do like about the new F-150 is it's, you know, it doesn't have like an insanely large turning radius like what you have with some of the other pickup trucks. Because what I was talking about is, even though all of the modern pickup trucks at this point pretty much have independent front suspension and a solid rear axle, at least with the half-ton segment, they don't all turn the same. I feel like the F-150 kind of turns on a dime. But getting up and moving, let's see how this 2.7 performs, because that's a big part of this review, is seeing if this powertrain's worth it or not. Love the torque, really good on the low end. Super smooth as well, and let's actually pop it over into the sport mode for our acceleration that we're going to get in just a moment. I think a lot of people wonder if they should get this or the 3.5, maybe even also this compared to the 5.0. Obviously this is down on horsepower and torque compared to both of those. Well, actually, horsepower and torque compared to both of those. I was thinking the 5.0 still has 10 pound-feet of torque more than this, but despite that, this is still, you know, a pretty powerful powertrain, especially for being more of like an entry-level powertrain. Obviously you got the 3.3 V6, which is the true entry-level with the F-150, but I've driven that, and well, yeah, it's not bad, but it's not great. Super torquey. Oh wow, this thing, wow, this is faster than I remember. So yeah, it's not as like punchy as the 3.5, but dang, does this thing move. Let me tell you, it's impressive. It seriously is. So, you know, with this STX package, I think this is a great truck because you get all the looks and you're not paying, you know, $70,000+ for, you know, like, I mean, at this point, even XLTs after taxes, you're gonna be like $70,000. I didn't think that minivan was gonna stop, so I was like, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty reasonably priced for how cool it looks. Obviously, you're getting more baseline interior, but like, do you really need all the frills? Like, this has climate controls. It has everything that you need. It even has a rear locking differential. So let me know what you guys think about the new F-150 STX, and then let me know what you think about the 2.7 turbo as well. But I think it's a strong powertrain, and I think for a lot of people, this might make more sense than the 3.5 or the 5.0.